What if I told you, there's a coin hiding in your drawer, worth $685,000, and you'd never know it until it's too late? No, this isn't a treasure hunt or a late-night infomercial. This is real. This is your wake-up call. Right now, there's a silver $250 minted in 1995 with the P mint mark that's making headlines. Coin collectors are whispering about it in forums, auction houses are throwing down six-figure bids, and someone just sold one for almost $700,000. And the kicker? It could be in your pocket change, but here's the thing, most people have no idea what to look for, and they throw away a fortune every day. Stick with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly how to identify this coin, why it's so rare, and what you need to do if you want to cash in, before someone else beats you to it. Let's rewind to 1995. The internet was barely a thing. Gas was $1.15 a gallon, and people still rented movies on VHS. But in the quiet corners of the Philadelphia Mint, something extraordinary happened. A batch of George Washington's silver quarters was struck with a rare combination of errors and features. Among them, a particular coin stood out, a 1995 $250 with the P mint mark, crafted not with ordinary clad metal, but with a 90% silver planchet, likely from a test strike or transitional mistake. Now, if you just nodded and said, "I have no idea what that means," don't worry, I've got you. Pattern interrupt. You don't need to be Indiana Jones with a magnifying glass. But if you've ever said, "I should really clean out that old coin jar," then congratulations, you might already be halfway to six figures. These coins weren't meant to exist. They're the result of a minting anomaly. And anomalies? They fetch premiums. One of these 1995 P silver quarters recently sold for a jaw-dropping $685,000 at auction. Now imagine this. That same coin could have just as easily ended up at the bottom of a soda machine or stuck between the seats of your old Chevy. So what exactly makes this quarter so valuable? Well, it's not just age. It's not just silver. It's a perfect storm of rarity, error, minting location, and condition. The P mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia, but silver coins weren't being made there in 1995. The coin wasn't supposed to be silver. It's a mule error, a mix-up where the wrong metal was used. Most were caught, but a few slipped through the cracks. And those few are pure gold. Well, silver technically. But you get the point, and here's where the fear comes in. Police car light. Thousands of people have unknowingly spent these coins. At grocery stores, gas stations, you name it, each time, waving goodbye to enough money to buy a beach house or pay off a mortgage. Think about that next time someone hands you change and you just shove it in the cup holder like it's worthless. But here's the exciting part, you might have won. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to check in just a moment. First, let's talk about condition, because if your coin is even slightly worn, it might be worth $5,000. If it's pristine, uncirculated, that's when you start entering six-figure territory. But hold on, what does pristine even mean? We're talking sharp details, no scratches, clean rims. Think of it like a vintage Mustang. Mint condition means serious cash. The reveal, how to identify, and call TO Action 715 10:00. Alright, here's the moment you've been waiting for. How do you know if you have the $685,000 quarter? Let's go through the checklist. Date, 1995 mint mark, a small P just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Use a scale. Silver quarters weigh slightly more, about 6.25 grams. Silver coins have a distinct tone when dropped gently and lack the orange, copper ring on the edge. Professional grading. If you suspect you've got the real deal, get it graded. PCGS or NGC are your go-to certifications. Without this, collectors won't even talk to you. Cliffhanger. And here's something most people don't know, there are rumors that more of these rare 1995 P silver quarters are still out there, uncirculated, unclaimed, and sitting in safety deposit boxes, estates, and dusty attic drawers. Could one of them be yours? Imagine walking into your local bank with a coin you thought was pocket change, and walking out a millionaire. But here's the urgency, as more of these coins are found and hit the market, the value will drop. Scarcity is what drives price. When the secret's out, the window closes. Don't wait until this becomes another "I wish I had" moment. You've just learned something most people will never know. Go check your old change jars. Look through your parents' coin collection. Dig out that forgotten stash in the garage, and if you think you found something valuable, don't guess. Don't sell it on a whim. Get it appraised. Imagine this. You're digging through an old change jar, maybe in your garage, maybe in that forgotten kitchen drawer, and suddenly, you find a quarter. Not just any quarter, but one that could be worth $685,000. Yes. A single quarter, minted in 1996, could be your ticket to financial freedom. Let's be honest, when's the last time a quarter bought you anything other than a parking meter tantrum? But this isn't just about finding change. It's about changing your life. Because that 1996 George Washington quarter dollar, it might be the secret to the lifestyle you've been chasing. And the best part? You might already have it. Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, you'll discover why this coin is making headlines, who's paying nearly $750,000 for it, and how you could turn your old coins into a golden exit plan. Let's rewind. The year is 1996. The internet was dial-up, jeans were high-waisted, and a quarter was just a quarter. Or so we thought. In Philadelphia, something rare happened at the U.S. Mint. A small batch of George Washington silver quarter dollars left the facility, carrying a mint mark, but there was a catch: these weren't supposed to be made of silver. These quarters were struck on 90% silver planchets, intended for proof sets or collector editions, by mistake, or by a twist of fate. And what makes this particular error not just rare, but worth six figures, comes down to one tiny detail most people miss, and I'll tell you exactly what that is in just a moment. Over the last decade, coin collectors, numismatists, and high-end investors have been scrambling to get their hands on this exact coin. Why? Because of scarcity. Fewer than a few dozen have ever been authenticated, and even fewer are in near-mint condition. It's like trying to find a gym on New Year's Day that isn't overcrowded. Rare. Real rare. Recently, a pristine 1996 silver quarter sold at a private auction for an astonishing $685,000. Yes, just one. And with more eyes turning to physical assets, coin values are only climbing. Collectors are not just hunting for coins, they're investing in history. Now, you might be asking, okay, but how do I know my quarter is the one? Great question. First, check for the mint mark under the word "In God We Trust." Next, test for silver. The edge should be solid silver, no copper stripe, and finally, weigh it. A silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams, while regular ones are closer to 5.67. But here's where most people go wrong, and it could cost them thousands. I'll share that critical mistake in just a second. You see, too many folks run to pawn shops or post their finds online without getting the coin professionally graded. That grading, done by services like PCGS or NGC, is what turns your coin from $50 to $500,000. If you sell it too fast or to the wrong person, you could lose out on hundreds of thousands of dollars. And once it's gone, it's gone. So, go ahead. Check those old coin jars, those dusty drawers, even Grandpa's cigar box. Because one forgotten 1996 quarter could change your life. We're not just talking about a coin, we're talking about a legacy. If you want to live that lifestyle, no more 9 to 5, no more what ifs, this is your moment. Don't let it pass you by. In the next video, I'll reveal the top 5 other quarters you might already own that are worth thousands. So hit subscribe, and tell me, what's the rarest coin you've ever found? What if I told you, there's a coin hiding in your drawer, worth $685,000, and you'd never know it until it's too late? No, this isn't a treasure hunt or a late-night infomercial. This is real. This is your wake-up call. Right now, there's a silver quarter dollar minted in 1995 with the mint mark, that's making headlines. Coin collectors are whispering about it in forums, auction houses are throwing down six-figure bids, and someone just sold one for almost $700,000. And the kicker? It could be in your pocket change, but here's the thing, most people have no idea what to look for, and they throw away a fortune every day. Stick with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly how to identify this coin, why it's so rare, and what you need to do if you want to cash in, before someone else beats you to it. Let's rewind to 1995. The internet was barely a thing. Gas was $1.15 a gallon, and people still rented movies on VHS. But in the quiet corners of the Philadelphia Mint, something extraordinary happened. A batch of George Washington's silver quarters was struck with a rare combination of errors and features. Among them, a particular coin stood out, a 1995 quarter dollar with the P mint mark, crafted not with ordinary clad metal, but with a 90% silver planchet, likely from a test strike or transitional mistake. Now, if you just nodded and said, "I have no idea what that means," don't worry, I've got you. Pattern interrupt, you don't need to be Indiana Jones with a magnifying glass. But if you've ever said, "I should really clean out that old coin jar," then congratulations, you might already be halfway to six figures. These coins weren't meant to exist. They're the result of a minting anomaly. And anomalies? They fetch premiums. One of these 1995 P silver quarters recently sold for a jaw-dropping $685,000 at auction. Now imagine this, that same coin could have just as easily ended up at the bottom of a soda machine or stuck between the seats of your old Chevy. So what exactly makes this quarter so valuable? Well, it's not just age. It's not just silver. It's a perfect storm of rarity, error, minting location, and condition. The P mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia, but silver coins weren't being made there in 1995. The coin wasn't supposed to be silver. It's a mule error, a mix-up where the wrong metal was used. Most were caught, but a few slipped through the cracks. And those few are pure gold. Well, silver technically. But you get the point, and here's where the fear comes in. Police car light. Thousands of people have unknowingly spent these coins at grocery stores, gas stations, you name it, each time, waving goodbye to enough money to buy a beach house or pay off a mortgage. Think about that next time someone hands you change and you just shove it in the cup holder like it's worthless. But here's the exciting part, you might have won. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to check in just a moment. First, let's talk about condition, because if your coin is even slightly worn, it might be worth $5,000. If it's pristine, uncirculated, that's when you start entering six-figure territory. But hold on, what does pristine even mean? We're talking sharp details, no scratches, clean rims. Think of it like a vintage Mustang. Mint condition means serious cash. The reveal, how to identify, and call TO Action 715 10:00. Alright, here's the moment you've been waiting for. How do you know if you have the $685,000 quarter? Let's go through the checklist. Date, 1995 mint mark, a small P just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Use a scale. Silver quarters weigh slightly more, about 6.25 grams. Silver coins have a distinct tone when dropped gently and lack the orange, copper ring on the edge. Professional grading. If you suspect you've got the real deal, get it graded. PCGS or NGC are your go-to certifications. Without this, collectors won't even talk to you. Cliffhanger. And here's something most people don't know, there are rumors that more of these rare 1995 P silver quarters are still out there, uncirculated, unclaimed, and sitting in safety deposit boxes, estates, and dusty attic drawers. Could one of them be yours? Imagine walking into your local bank with a coin you thought was pocket change, and walking out a millionaire. But here's the urgency, as more of these coins are found and hit the market, the value will drop. Scarcity is what drives price. When the secret's out, the window closes. Don't wait until this becomes another "I wish I had" moment. You've just learned something most people will never know. Go check your old change jars. Look through your parents' coin collection. Dig out that forgotten stash in the garage, and if you think you've found something valuable, don't guess. Don't sell it on a whim. Get it appraised. You might have a fortune sitting in your kitchen drawer. Yes, you heard that right. A small, silver coin, perhaps one you've tossed into a jar without a second thought, could be worth up to $685,000 right now, and not just any coin. We're talking about the 1981 George Washington quarter with the elusive P mint mark. Could this be the one that changes your life? And hey, before you flip every couch cushion or raid your grandma's sock drawer, let's find out what makes this coin so special. 1981, Ronald Reagan becomes president. MTV launches. And deep in the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, something remarkable was struck, a George Washington quarter. On the surface? Ordinary. But hidden beneath its silver sheen is a twist of fate. You see, quarters from this year weren't supposed to be made of 90% silver. By 1981, the U.S. had long since moved to copper-nickel-clad coins for circulation, but a rare minting error, or perhaps a test strike, led to the creation of a few silver planchet quarters. Most were melted down. But a handful escaped, and one of those may be sitting in your collection. So, how do you know if you have the quarter worth hundreds of thousands? That's coming up. But first, what exactly makes this coin so outrageously valuable? Let's talk numbers. One verified specimen of the 1981 P mint quarter, struck on a silver planchet, sold for over $685,000 at auction. 3 words: rarity, error, demand. First, rarity. Less than a dozen are believed to exist, and fewer still are in high-grade, uncirculated condition. Second, error. Coins struck on the wrong metal type are highly collectible. It's like having a $1 bill printed on silk, it's unexpected, and collectors go wild for it. And third, demand. With baby boomers, Gen Zers, and now even millennials diving into coin collecting, prices have skyrocketed. Besides, where else can you turn 25 cents into a new Tesla, a beach house, and a retirement plan, all at once? But before you call your financial advisor, let's break down exactly how to spot one of these rare beauties. Alright, grab your coin jar, your reading glasses, and maybe even a magnifying glass. Here's what to look for. 1981. A clear P just above the date on the coin's obverse. Regular quarters weigh about 5.67 grams, but the silver planchet versions? Closer to 6.25 grams. Yes, even the sound. Silver coins have a distinctive, higher-pitched ring when dropped. Gently, please. Let's not destroy your six-figure treasure. And here's the kicker, these coins are vanishing. Most owners have no idea they're sitting on gold, or rather, silver, and are unknowingly giving them away in change, at estate sales, or in old coin rolls. Every month, fewer of these coins remain unidentified. Every moment you wait is a moment someone else might cash in. So what's the next move if you do think you have one? Well, the difference between a $5 quarter and a $500,000 one is all in the next step. Get your 1981 quarters out. Weigh them. Inspect the edge. Silver coins don't have that reddish copper stripe. And most importantly, have any promising coins authenticated by a professional numismatist or a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC, and if it checks out, your life could change, forever. A quarter you forgot you had. A call from the auction house. A bidding war. And a life you never dreamed possible, all from one rare piece of metal. You don't need to win the lottery. You just need to look a little closer, because wealth doesn't always knock, it sometimes jingles in your pocket. And if you're about to check between your car seats, make sure to hit that like button first. It may not be worth $685,000, but hey, it helps us keep the treasure hunts going. Subscribe for more hidden coin gems, and share this with someone who hoards change like it's the apocalypse. You never know who might be sitting on a silver jackpot. Let me know if you'd like this as a teleprompter-ready format, or want to add visual cues, B-roll suggestions, or background music recommendations for editing. What if I told you, there's a quarter sitting in your kitchen drawer, that could be worth more than a brand new Lamborghini? Yes. A 25-cent piece. From 1967. No mint mark. No fuss. Just silver, and silence. Until now, right now, one of these coins has a current market value of $685,000. And here's the catch. You might already own one. Stick with me for the next 10 minutes, because I'm going to show you how to tell if your old quarter is secretly a hidden fortune, and why collectors are scrambling to get their hands on this rare coin before it's too late. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, because this isn't just about coins, it's about unlocking wealth, legacy, and financial freedom. Starting with something you probably haven't looked at twice. Back in 1967, the U.S. Mint produced millions of George Washington quarters, but unlike the usual coins marked with a letter, D for Denver, P for Philadelphia, S for San Francisco, these 1967 quarters had no mint mark at all. Why? Because in a bold move, the U.S. Mint decided to temporarily remove mint marks between 1965 and 1967. Their goal? To discourage coin hoarding during a silver shortage. Ironically, this attempt to decrease collector interest ended up doing the opposite, kinda like when someone says, "Don't look behind you." What do we all do? Yeah, we look. So now, decades later, numismatists, yes, that's a fancy word for coin collectors, are obsessing over this plain-looking quarter. Why? Because not all 1967 quarters are created equal, and one in particular is worth over $685,000. But why this coin? What makes this 1967 quarter different? Let's talk about it. Here's the secret. Most 1967 quarters were made from copper-nickel clad, not silver, but a very few, were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets, metal blanks left over from 1964. This rare error makes those silver 1967 quarters extremely valuable. And if yours is in mint condition, buckle up. The latest sale? $685,000 at auction. That's not pocket change, that's retirement, travel, generational wealth. But the worst part? Most people have no idea what they're sitting on. Think of how many of these quarters ended up in jars, vending machines, or lost in a couch cushion. Let's be honest, how many of us have raided the couch for coins and come out with a remote, 3 popcorn kernels, and eternal shame? But now, you might want to revisit that couch. Silver quarters weigh about 6.25 grams, versus 5.67 g for clad. Check the edges. Silver coins lack the copper sandwich stripe. Give it a light ping. Silver has a high-pitched ring. Clad sounds dull. If you find one that looks and feels different, get it appraised immediately, because this isn't just coin collecting. This is financial archaeology. But here's the real twist. Even clad 1967 quarters with no mint mark are selling for thousands. Why? You're going to want to hear this. Even without the silver error, high-grade 1967 quarters, those with near-perfect surfaces, are rare. Why? Because most coins from that era went straight into circulation. They got scratched, dinged, worn down. So finding one in MS67 or higher condition, that's mint state grade, is like finding a needle in a haystack that might be made of gold. Just recently, a clad 1967 quarter with a high strike and flawless luster sold for over $5,000. And yes, it looked just like any other quarter, until an expert saw the difference. Coins like this don't sit around long. As more collectors flood the market, values are rising, and availability is dropping fast. Imagine missing your window because you didn't check that old coin jar, or ignored grandpa's dusty coin album. Come on, when's the last time you did literally anything with your coin jar, besides promise to roll it someday? Today's the day. Because your wealth might already be in your hands. So what do you do now? Grab your change jar, look through that old stash of coins, find every 1967 quarter you own, weigh it, examine it, ping it, and if you think you've got something special, get it appraised fast. Because in the world of rare coins, timing is everything, and this 1967 quarter could be your ticket to a completely different life. You're not just selling a coin, you're discovering a fortune, and maybe, just maybe, rewriting your story. It's a coin from 1987, yet it holds the potential to turn you into a millionaire. And no, this isn't some fantasy or collector's dream, it's real, and it could be sitting in your drawer right now. Stay tuned to learn why this coin might just be your ticket to financial freedom. Let's dive in. Let's get straight to the point. The 1987 George Washington Silver Quarter. It looks like any other quarter, right? Wrong. You see, when you take a closer look at this coin, especially the D mint mark, you'll realize that it's one of the rarest and most valuable coins in the world today. But why? What makes this specific quarter so special? The D mint mark on this coin indicates it was minted in Denver. While millions of these quarters were made, only a very small percentage ever had the right conditions to become a valuable gem. In fact, the 1987 D Washington Silver Quarter, if you have one in pristine condition, could be worth, hold on to your seats, up to $685,000. Yes, you heard that right, nearly $700,000. So, how can a simple quarter be worth so much? Well, here's where it gets interesting. The value lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and the right buyer at the right time. The 1987 D mint mark quarter is considered to be an error coin. That's right, an error. If your quarter has a unique feature like a double die, an off-center strike, or a missing mint mark, your coin could be worth a small fortune. Imagine finding this coin in your change, or maybe in your collection that's been gathering dust for years. You could be holding onto a key that unlocks an unimaginable wealth. But time is ticking, and here's why. Don't worry, we've all been there, searching for loose change in that jar. But this time, what if you found a gold mine instead of a couple of pennies? Or even better, a coin worth over $500,000. The market for rare coins is on fire. In fact, right now could be the perfect time to sell your 1987 D mint mark George Washington Silver Quarter. You see, collectors and investors alike are more eager than ever to get their hands on rare and pristine coins. The value is skyrocketing, and waiting could mean missing out on an opportunity of a lifetime. What if this quarter could help you live the lifestyle you've always dreamed of? Think about it. Imagine selling this single coin and walking away with hundreds of thousands of dollars, enough to pay off debt, buy a new home, travel the world, or even retire early. But here's the catch, you've got to act fast. Coin values can fluctuate, and the longer you wait, the less likely you are to cash in on this incredible opportunity. So, how do you know if your coin is worth the big bucks? It's time to find out. In just a moment, we'll reveal the exact steps to take to get your coin evaluated. You'll learn how to spot the rare features that can make your 1987 D mint quarter worth a small fortune. But first, let me ask you this, what if this is the moment that changes everything for you? Remember, your 1987 D mint mark quarter is not just a coin, it's a key to your future. Don't let this opportunity slip away. If you're ready to sell and unlock the wealth that could be yours, don't wait. Reach out to a trusted coin expert and get your coin appraised today. Act quickly, because the clock is ticking. Imagine the thrill of selling your coin for hundreds of thousands of dollars, living a life of luxury and freedom. It's all possible, but only if you act now. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. What if I told you that an old quarter sitting in your kitchen drawer could be worth $685,000 today? Yes, a single coin. Not gold, not platinum, just a 1988 quarter, with a tiny D mint mark. And yet, collectors are fighting over it. Hourglass not done. In this video, we're diving into the mystery, the rarity, and the explosive value of the 1988 D mint mark George Washington Silver Quarter Dollar, and why some are calling it the millionaire maker. Fire, stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might be racing to check your change jar, and possibly your net worth. Clapperboard acti, discovery and intrigue. 0:45, 3:30. In 1988, the U.S. Mint in Denver produced hundreds of millions of quarters. Most were average, common, forgotten. But a few, just a few, were not. These quarters had something rare, something mysteriously flawed, and that flaw made them priceless. A first-place medal. What's so special about this coin? It's not just age, it's the minting error combined with its silver content, and even more, the unusual strike anomalies only found on a handful of coins, face with monocle only a few have ever surfaced. One recently sold for $685,000 at a private collector's auction. Others are being quietly purchased by insiders. Why? Because the market sees these coins as hidden gems with explosive appreciation potential. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked at a coin and thought, there's my next beach house? Clapperboard ACT2, the backstory and rarity revealed, 3:30, 6:30. To understand the value, we need to go back to 1988. Ronald Reagan was finishing his second term. The economy was booming. And the US Mint? It was operating like clockwork, until it wasn't. A small batch of quarters were accidentally struck using a silver planchet instead of the standard copper-nickel clad. These silver quarters, not supposed to exist, slipped through the cracks. Only a few were released into circulation before someone at the mint caught on, chart decreasing, the rest? Destroyed. Or so they thought, but some survived. And they've been hiding in plain sight. Could you be holding one right now? Now here's the kicker, most people don't even know what to look for. Here's how you identify the $685,000 George Washington 1988 D silver quarter in your possession. Look just below the ribbon on Washington's ponytail. You should see a tiny D. A silver quarter weighs about 6.25 grams, while a standard copper-nickel version weighs 5.67 grams. Silver coins have a uniform silver color across the edge. No orange or brown tones like modern quarters. Tap it lightly. Silver rings differently, sharper, longer resonance. Man detective, have any of these signs shown up in your coin jar, sock drawer, or those old cardboard coin folders from Grandpa? Because right now, collectors and brokers are scouring America to find the last few of these coins before they disappear forever into private vaults. And when they do, prices could skyrocket. You might be holding a seven-figure asset, and not even know it. By the way, if you find one, don't clean it. Seriously, don't scrub your future fortune with dish soap. Leave that to the pros. Clapperboard ending, the wealth mindset and call to action, 9:30, 10:00. Most people walk past opportunity every day. They don't recognize it. They don't value it. But you're not most people. If you're holding a 1988 D silver quarter, you could be sitting on a legacy, one that changes your life, your family's future, and the way you think about money forever. Want to sell it? Want to cash in? In the next video, I'll walk you through exactly how to get it authenticated, where to sell, and how to avoid scams that cost people millions. What if I told you that a single quarter in your junk drawer could be worth more than your house? Not a joke, not a drill, and definitely not something you want to overlook, because right now, a rare 1992 D mint marked George Washington quarter dollar, yes, just 25 cents face value, is sitting at an eye-popping $685,000 on the private collector's market. Let that sink in for a moment. That's more than the average retirement savings in America, and if you're like most folks, you probably just muttered, wait. I spent that on gas last week. But here's the twist, millions of Americans are sitting on literal treasures, and they don't even know it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so rare, how to find out if you own one, and how you can turn your forgotten change into a six-figure payday. Let's rewind the clock to 1992. Bill Clinton is running for president. VHS tapes are everywhere. And pocket change? Still king, but hidden in the Denver Mint's coin production that year. A mysterious anomaly was born. The 1992 D George Washington quarter was supposed to be a standard clad coin, a copper-nickel blend. But due to a highly uncommon minting error, a small number were struck on silver planchets, leftover blanks intended for proof sets. That mistake created a rarity so extreme, it's considered the ghost coin of modern US coinage, and the scariest part. Most of these quarters slipped into circulation. They're out there, in coin jars, in glove compartments, maybe even in your couch cushions, Now let's fast forward to today. A retired mailman in Florida finds an old quarter while clearing out his late father's coin box. It looks ordinary, but it feels different. Turns out, it's a 1992 D silver quarter, authenticated and graded MS-66, the highest known quality ever found. Sale price? $685,000. Imagine explaining to your kids, "Yes, honey, Grandpa left us his collection, and now we live in Malibu." This isn't an isolated miracle. People just like you are discovering fortune in forgotten places, attic boxes, inherited collections, even spare change jars. Every day, these coins are unknowingly being spent, exchanged, and lost forever. Now that you know the story, what should you do next? Check your 1992 quarters. Look for the D mint mark on the front, to the right of Washington's ponytail. But that's just the start. Test the metal. The silver version will have a distinct tone and weight, heavier than a regular quarter, with no copper ring on the edge. Get it authenticated. Send it to a certified grading service like PCGS or NGC. Don't try to sell it raw. Collectors want the official grade. And finally, understand the market. This coin isn't just a collector's item. It's a wealth asset. The elite are investing in rare coins as tangible, appreciating hedges against inflation, but the market is heating up. Private collectors are actively hunting these coins, and once they're gone, they're gone. And here's the crazy part. The 1992 D isn't even the most valuable quarter out there. In our next video, we'll reveal the quarter that crossed the $1.2 million mark. Make sure you're subscribed. You won't want to miss that one. You don't need a lottery ticket, you don't need Wall Street, you just need the right coin, and the knowledge to recognize it. So before you toss that quarter back into the vending machine, could this be my $685,000 moment? Because for someone out there, it will be. Bell subscribe for more real coin stories. Speech balloon. Drop a comment if you've got old coins you're curious about. Thumbs up, and if this opened your eyes, give it a like to let YouTube know this info needs to get out. Here's a sophisticated, 10-minute YouTube script tailored for a faceless video about the 1994 D George Washington silver quarter, written in a way that inspires and educates, while using a 3-act story structure, emotional triggers, pattern interrupts, and engaging transitions to keep your target audience of 30 to 65-year-old Americans watching until the very end. Somewhere in America, right now, there's a forgotten coin tucked away in a kitchen drawer, a dusty attic box, or even in your wallet, worth over $685,000. And no, it's not gold. It's a humble quarter. A 1994 D George Washington silver quarter. Yes, silver. Yes, 1994. And yes, it could make you a millionaire. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why this ordinary-looking coin has an extraordinary value, and how you might already own one. But blink, and you might miss your chance. Because opportunities like this, they disappear fast. Clapperboard ACT1, the Discovery 0:45, 3:00, setting the stage and emotional stakes. Let's go back to 1994. Bill Clinton is president, the internet is barely a thing, and the Denver Mint is quietly producing millions of quarter-dollar coins. But among those millions, something went wrong, or maybe, perfectly right. A rare batch of quarters were mistakenly, or perhaps intentionally, struck in 90% silver instead of the typical copper-nickel clad. Most went unnoticed. Until collectors started whispering about a mysterious anomaly, a quarter with an unexpected weight, a different sound when dropped, a subtle, silvery shine. You ever dropped a coin and thought, that sounded expensive? Well, maybe you should have paid closer attention. And no, licking it won't tell you if it's silver. Though hey, who are we to judge? Clapperboard ACT2, the $1 million mystery 3:00, 7:00, building suspense and excitement with facts, emotion, and deeper insight. So what makes this 1994 D quarter so special? First, the mint mark. The small d signifies it was minted in Denver. But here's the kicker, nearly all Denver quarters from that year were clad, not silver. Which means if you have one struck in silver, it's one of only a few known to exist. Imagine holding something the government never meant to release. A coin that slipped through the cracks of history, and is now worth over $685,000 in today's market. That's not just a coin, that's a ticket to a different life. Collectors and investors are racing to get their hands on these. And with each one discovered, the remaining become even more valuable. Think of it like a game of musical chairs, only the chairs are made of silver, and each one is worth a small fortune. What if you've already spent it? What if the coin that could have changed everything slipped through your fingers at a gas station for a stick of gum? Painful thought, isn't it? That's why time matters. You need to check your collection now. Resolution, empowerment, and call to action. You don't need to be a coin expert to recognize a fortune. Here's what to look for. Silver quarters weigh about 6.25 grams. A silver coin will have no copper stripe. Use a professional coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC. Recently, one of these quarters, perfectly preserved, fetched over $685,000 at auction. The next one could be yours. And the crazy part? It might be sitting 5 feet from where you're watching this right now. This isn't just about coins. It's about second chances. It's about hidden wealth, overlooked potential, and the life you could be living. You've worked hard. Isn't it time something worked for you? Next week, we're diving into another shocking coin find, one that turned a retired postman into a millionaire overnight. But first, go check your quarters. Especially the 1994 D. Because millionaires? They don't wait.